Hello and welcome. I am Richard. I'm here with Austin and Scott, and we're going to talk about how Undertone is the worst movie ever. Or was it? We'll talk about that soon, but first, you're listening to.
Hurry! The movie is starting podcast.
Alright, so we just saw the new horror movie by Ian Tuason, Undertone. What was y'all's first thought when you think about that movie?
Hi. Yeah, it was. I like the isolation. I like the low budget aspect to it. One talking character, and loved the sound production, and felt like it was a well executed movie. Although I think it lacked character depth, something I kind of could relate to. So yeah, I was just hoping for more out of it.
Okay. And Austin, what did you think about it?
So yeah, no, I agree with the character depth on that. I think there was some reasoning for it, but overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I couldn't really find much wrong with it. The way it was shot, the acting, how immersed it made you feel, just like the wide open shots where you're just like waiting to see something, like, you know, in the background, kind of like how the layout of the house. So yeah, that's I really enjoyed it. And then kind of bringing a demon into it that you're not really familiar with.
Right, and that actually existed like in scripture, like Jewish scripture and not Roman Catholic.
It's a lot of like also European folklore too.
Yeah.
But I say folklore, quote unquote, but
okay,
I think it's real.
And I thought, like, I agree with both y'all. Like, I really enjoyed the sound quality and the fact that when she would put on her headphones, it would just completely silence everything.
Yes.
And then when she would take them off, you hear like all the background noises. I really enjoyed that. I would say Ian Tuason did a really good job of pulling us into that experience, because up until the ending, I was like fully hooked. I was like, all right, this is good. I'm getting that paranormal activity vibe with it, and I'm getting like anxious because of this movie. But then the ending, in my opinion, just kind of fizzles out that expectation. And I'm someone that like loves a really good horror ending, and I know it's hard this day and age because a lot of the good endings have been done, and this one is, I would say this one is probably left more to your interpretation of what you think happened, because there's no clear-cut ending. There's lots of flashes. There's someone with a bag over their face that we assume is Evie, and then we see like a brief shot of her mom standing up, and her mom was comatose the entire movie. So that's my only complaint about it, but I thought it did a great job with the cinematography of it, like leaving a lot of isolation where we see Evie on one half of the screen and then just a blank black background on the other side, where we're constantly thinking like, okay, is there something back there? Is there something back there? But that is going to be our first take about the movie. What did you guys rate this from 1 to 10? 10 being amazing, 1 being I never will watch that movie again.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're an aspiring like sound design guy, I would say it would be higher rankings, like maybe like an 8. But as far as like rewatchability, it's kind of, I don't know. I would say I give it a 6.
6? I think that's better than when we left the theater. When we left the theater, I think you were saying like a 4.
No, I was angry. I'm kidding.
Okay, 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. This, like I said before, the acting was great. How it didn't jump into anything. It kind of slowly progressed, got scarier and scarier, that you got more and more information about, you know, the reverse, you know, nursery rhymes and the demon kind of like facts and stuff.
Yeah,
and then also the audio files with Jessa and Mike.
Yeah,
like that just got crazier, right, you know, until the end.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned it was very like reminiscent of Paranormal Activity.
But it gave me the same feeling as Hereditary.
Oh,
Hereditary, a lot more character building, a lot more, but like the kind of that eeriness of like, family in the house.
right.
That, I don't know, it's just, it brings a different feel to it, so.
Which, honestly, now that knowing that Scott has never seen Hereditary, I feel like we should all watch it again and do a post game because
Oh yeah.
not only is it Austin's favorite horror movie, but it would be amazing to get someone's opinion on the movie after seeing it for the first time because this movie came out in 2017, I think. 2018, yeah. So it's been a while. So that would be, I'm going to put it on the list. It's going to be a future episode, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, it's streaming at HBO Max right now.
HBO Max, yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Such a good movie too, and it's very, like, talking about rewatchability, it's one of those movies that you can constantly rewatch because there's so much. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's so much going on in that movie.
Yeah, I've seen Hereditary probably like 7 or 8 times, like just showing people and then just watching it on my own because I'm like, oh, why not watch this? It's such a great movie. Ari Aster, one of my favorite directors, we've talked about, but.
Mm-hmm. And you can easily say that movie is what put A24 on the map. And then here we are talking about another A24 film in Undertone, which they've been. A24 is a company that I like because they go out and get those concept movies that not a lot of people go after, like the more indie style movies.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would get a movie like Undertone from any other studio that would be this good, because if Blumhouse would have done it, Blumhouse has some bangers, but they also have a lot of swing and misses, in my opinion. So I'm glad that A24 was able to get this movie and mess with it a little bit too.
Yeah, same with like Neon. Neon kind of does that a little bit too.
Yeah.
But yeah, A24 kind of takes the cake when it comes to those indie kind of movies,
Yeah.
Put them on the map.
Okay, let me ask you guys this before I give you my score. What if you can only describe this movie with one word? What word would you say?
Let's see here. One word. I don't know.
You want me to come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me. Yeah.
Scott, you got something?
I guess, I don't know, creepy.
Creepy? Okay. Well, if people are like wanting to go watch a horror movie, I think creepy would be something that they would be looking for. And there's many moments that give you that like unsettling feeling, which is what I did enjoy about this movie. There's not a lot of horror movies that make you feel that uneasy edge and keep building on it.
So I think terrifying, but not in the sense like, oh, just watching any horror movie, it's terrifying, but terrifying in the sense that this could actually happen.
Right. Yeah. It was because it dealt with like the supernatural, and there were actually lots of religious themes in this movie as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, putting religion in horror movies and then putting like children's songs in horror movies always makes it so much creepier to me.
It ties it like to reality because those were facts about those children, the nursery rhymes, London bridges, and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like all that stuff's factual. You can look up the demon Abazu.
Yeah.
Like these are all things that have happened. There's hundreds of studies of people actually being possessed and murdering their children because they were possessed by a demon. They told them to do it, and so it brings that ground shaking, like earth shattering, like reality to a fictional movie.
Right.
Maybe I need to watch it again.
Hey, I would see it again, man. Let me know. But we got to watch Hereditary first.
All right.
Yeah, watch Hereditary and then go see that. I guarantee you'll appreciate it.
I'll be able to take whatever that tone is that you're talking about watching Hereditary. So yeah.
That Undertone?
Yeah, I'll be able to take the tone of Undertone. Yeah. I will say I don't mean to come down on the movie because it's like a springboard, like launch for the director, like first major like feature film. It's a big deal. But it's very unique, the concept with the podcasts and stuff, and give that props. So it holds its own. It's like in its own little new subgenre category.
Right, and that brings me to my score, because when we left this movie, I think I was thinking like 4, but after kind of, because I'm slow when it comes to movies. Sometimes I gotta like go home, drive home, no music on, and just think like, okay, what did I think about that? Because I go to a horror movie to not only be like spooked, but have a good story. I'm huge about good stories, and the fact that this is about a podcast and we are now recording on a podcast, I didn't want to watch the trailer because when I opened the trailer, I heard like some of the audio clippings, and I'm like, okay, that's creepy. I want to save it for like watching the movie. And when I edit, like it would be scare the crap out of me if I just hear like random like things talking to me like while I'm editing. But the ending just kind of took it down a little bit for me. So I left the theater and got home and thought, okay, this is a 4.5 to me. That could change later because we're going to be diving more into the deepness of this movie. But I think there's a lot of things that work for this movie. I thought there was honestly a lot of positives to not many negatives. There were some parts that were kind of like, it felt dragged out, and like you mentioned when we were there too, it could have been a shorter film. I do agree with that, but I also kind of like the fact that it kind of builds up the tension, or like kind of builds up that tension. But at the end of the day, the ending just got to me, and I know it's technically like open for interpretation, but I would have liked to see more concrete evidence of what actually happened and not just like flashes. It just felt a little cheap to me. But with this budget, I mean, most of the time these kind of endings are like the endings that get people talking about it more.
Yeah. And like going back to like the gravity of it is like, so a friend of my wife's she was saying, oh, Austin's gonna go see this, really supposed to be a really terrifying movie, and he was like, oh yeah, I had to walk out because he's very Catholic.
Oh.
And comes from a very Catholic family, so he was like, he's a Spanish guy, so it's Spanish Catholic, so he was like saying, oh, the movie tries to possess you. Like in the movie when
Wow.
They're repeating
right, exactly,
coming opposite and like all that stuff. So
Very
I was like, oh boy, yeah. Kind of like that audio like infiltration, like could, I was like, I wonder if other people have experienced this as well.
That's how you do it.
Well, it made me think like, because horror movies are an interesting thing when you're going like getting back into religion, because sometimes you're like, you feel not necessarily guilty, but you're like, should I be watching this? And there were moments in this movie where I was like, oh, this is like really making me uncomfortable. And the fact that they constantly like say that saying over and over again, it's like, okay, you don't have to say it this many times. I think you get
I felt the same
right.
way.
You kind of get like nervous a little bit, and you're like, okay, you can stop now. I know what you're saying, but it's funny that you mentioned that. But speaking of like everyone talking about this movie, we're going to go to the box score, a little bit of what the people think about this movie, and it is called Undertone, again by A24, but it is directed by Ian Tuason, and is considered a folklore/supernatural horror. Runtime is at 1 hour and 34 minutes. The IMDb score is 6.3 out of 10, which it's okay. It's not great. But the Rotten Tomatoes score from the critics was 74%, which is pretty good for a horror movie, especially like an hour and 34-minute horror movie. And the audience gave it a 52%. So the critics thought it was a better story. And I'm thinking maybe because the director did a great job with audio cues and just the cinematography of one half with her and then the other half of like blank space in the background. And then the cinema score, of course, is a C. And last but not least, if you know the budget for this movie was only $500,000, which is really impressive because the return on this movie was $9 million on opening weekend, was $9,339,663, which is a return of 18.67x. So typically they say in order for a movie to break even, you want 2.5x. So you got to assume like 3x is somewhat profit. They went above and beyond and went 18x. And then now we were finding out that the director for this movie, Tuason, is now going to be rebooting the Paranormal Activity movies, which honestly, watching this movie, I could not help but think of Paranormal Activity because watching those movies in theaters was an experience.
I think he would do really well if, I don't know, his writing abilities, but if someone else wrote it, maybe I'm wrong, maybe that opens up because it has so much lore and
I would like to see what he does with the found footage, because I'm also a huge fan of found footage films.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before too. That the first time I watched
Yeah, you did.
Paranormal Activity in theaters, after it said that thing like, "Oh, this was found from the police department." I was like, "Oh my gosh, this was a real movie!" But it just felt that real that they did such a good job with that. Yeah, he wrote it. Ian Tuason wrote it as well.
Oh, he wrote the paranormal movies?
Oh no, he wrote Undertone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you guys think, based on these numbers, so we got 6.3 on IMDb, 74% on Tomatoes, and a cinema score of C, do you guys think it deserves these numbers, or do you think it deserves more or less?
Well, I think the IMDb rating that's basically, it's pretty like spot on around there within like a point. Typically when I watch a movie that I haven't seen, but I'll read a review of it first, look at the score. I do that even with like episodes from like seasonal whatever shows and whatnot. So I don't know why, but I do it every friggin' time. I just want to know if I'm watching something good, if it's worth my time. Right. So yeah. But 6.3 sounds good. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I think it deserves more, honestly.
Deserves more?
Yeah.
In terms of like Tomatoes, IMDb, or everything.
The critic score, like that's reasonable. 73%. The critic, the audience, right?
Audience,
52%. Yeah, and that's. I don't know if they, the people they took that information from, like whether they like are really familiar with, with cinematography and sound engineering, stuff like that. That's what really there's a huge chunk of that movie with that I thought was extremely impressive.
Right.
I feel like it deserved a little bit more than that, but what was the IMDb score again?
The IMDb was 6.3, so a lot lower on IMDb than Rotten Tomatoes and Cinema Score.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it deserved at least like a 7.
7.
Yeah.
I think maybe that popcorn meter, the 52%, I can see that being people that are going in for like a scary movie and then they're getting scared and then the ending happens. They're like, what was that? That's the ending? Because after it fades to black, there's kind of, for me, it was kind of a bit of a disappointment. But I agree with y'all. The cinematography and the audio and just a lot of the stuff that this first-time director put in this movie, I think it is a stepping stone to seeing like, okay, this guy is clearly talented. Now let's see what happens when we give him like more of these kind of movies. So in terms of like sports aspects, I would say that this is a team that like didn't make the playoffs in my opinion, but they looked so good during the regular season that next season you're like, okay, they're going to be in the playoffs next season.
Yeah. So if he follows through with the Paranormal Activity movies, like, yeah, I'd be excited to see that.
He definitely has a grasp on the filmmaking technique and all.
Yeah, that's incredible. That is his first movie. Like,
yeah.
If it wasn't for the mother being in it, it could have been a podcast.
Yeah.
If we didn't have to show the mom, they could have made it like a story podcast.
Yeah.
In a way, but yeah.
In a way,
this is his
I can
first
see that.
full feature. He's done a couple shorts, but this is his first full feature film. And we talked about it earlier, and this is going to lead us directly into our keys to the film, the personable nature of Ian Tuason, that he kind of similar to the director for Weapons, they used something that they were dealing with in that time, which I don't know if you guys knew this, but the director for Weapons was going through the grief of losing his best friend and put that on paper, and then Weapons was created. So that was coming from his grief. So similar to something here where we had Ian Tuason back in 2020 was watching over his parents who were both struck with terminal cancer. And so you can see, reading that, you can understand more so of what he's trying to go for in this film. And then not to mention just that, but he also filmed this film in his old childhood home. So it's lots of things that he's seen while growing up. What do you guys think about the feel of authenticity for Ian in this film based on what he went through?
Well, I would score it very high. I feel like it was like well known, everything that he was doing. It seemed like it had a lot of purpose as far as like the director goes. and then not until after the movie, but I suspected that if it were a house and not a set that they were filming in, that house had some significant value to the filmmaker. And yeah, and the fact that it's really low budget, like I'm hearing like 500,000, also adds to its authenticity. You have to kind of create more.
Yes, I agree. When a film is like low budget, like I just mentioned, Gore Verbinski's "Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die," which was a $10,000 budget, I believe. It sets the movie up for the director to get way more creative, and then you see these cool aspects like the cinematography or just the audio cues of her putting on the headphones and everything else around her is quiet. But what do you think about Austin?
Yeah, that definitely makes it more intimate. Like it kind of like, makes it even cooler to me. That is, because I knew that he had he got the idea from his own personal experience. And well, first of all, I didn't even know with Zach Kreger, I didn't know that was Weapons was formed because he lost Trevor Moore?
Yes, his best friend, and they were acting in movies together. Trevor Moore, I think, fell from a balcony in his house and passed away at such a young age that he was trying to deal with this grief, so he started writing it down, and then thus he wrote down, the first sentence was, kids go missing in a town, nobody knows what happened to them, and then he started like filling it in from there.
Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy behind Trevor Moore's death too, but that's the whole different thing.
Yeah,
because he was one of my favorite. Like I grew up watching Wise Kids, and that's
Miss March. I think was a movie.
Miss March.
Yeah.
What else was he in?
He was oh man, they were in a lot of movies. They were in like those dumb like road trip comedies kind of. Let's see.
Okay. It was like ironic, like because they like kind of like made fun of that kind of stuff, like this road trip kind of early 2000s bros going on a adventure.
I just watched that recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's dated, but it was fun.
I've only watched Miss March that both of them were in.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I've watched as well. So that's Trevor Moore. That's the guy who passed away at such a young age, and then that's Zach Kreger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they were like really close buddies.
Recommend that? Miss March.
It's like a good it's one of those good like drunk comedies that you watch if you're like kind of bored and you just want something to laugh about.
Oh, yeah, it's real dumb.
Yeah.
It's real dumb. Not like Zach Kreger's serious films that are like amazing,
right?
Like Companion and
right.
But
yeah.
Anyway, we sidetracked off that, but yeah, I think that's pretty amazing that it definitely adds more depth to it that he filmed it in his childhood home, like where his parents were dying,
right?
Like so, I'm like I just can't even imagine like what that experience was like directing it like that,
Right. And you mentioned too before we started recording that he was trying to channel that guilt of wanting his parents to just like let go so he didn't have to take care of him. And have you guys ever been in that situation where you're like metaphorically holding someone's plug?
No, I've never, I have a brother that passed away and we had to pull a plug on him, but like he was like pretty much already gone, but nothing like where you have to take care of them and they're not like, you're not an in-house nurse basically, because she, Evie had to, clean up her mom when she would, make, crap her the bed or in like,
yeah,
like that was really like the only thing, like, oh yeah, she fell.
Yeah.
You had to worry about, like that would be a nightmare to have to,
so
take care of your parents like that. Like it's kind of reverse. Like when I watched that scene of her cleaning her mom up, I was like, man, that's like literally reverse. Like she, when she was a baby, she was cleaning up Evie, and now the tables have turned on that,
So I did kind of like, I don't know, it just critically thinking if she couldn't, like, she was giving her pills, right? So, but it didn't show her move, like, really at all. Like, she didn't, like, even make really an expression on her face, or we didn't see her swallow. And I didn't even, like, it seemed like she was kind of like catatonic, her almost like comatose. So it was like you would like drown her if you were to give her like a pill and give her some water, as she was trying to do. But I know it
like her
more...
reflexes were still working, because like that's just, even if you're just comatose, if you your senses are, your reflexes are still working. So
yeah, I gotta look into that. I don't know. I questioned it. That's just something that popped up for me personally.
And that's why I think like this movie does not necessarily on that aspect of, because I was thinking that too, like, well, how is she giving her pills if she's like, because the first thing I thought was like, man, this woman just made a bank from just lying there the entire movie, because I want to see how much she got paid for this.
And then she walks backwards in the movie.
She's like, I got to sleep.
Right.
Yeah, you have to sleep the whole time.
But I
just breathe heavy.
But I will say, like, I think that's what really worked well in this movie was the psychological horror of dealing with a parent and the multiple situations of false hope where Evie thinks that she's hearing her mom pray and she goes in there and her mom's still the same, or she thinks that she sees the light on, so she's like, oh, mommy, you're awake, and then she goes up there and her mom's in the exact same spot. That, to me, that's partially like some of the scariest stuff in that movie, even though it's not, I don't think that's the main focus of the horror, but it's a really good building in terms of their relationship.
I also would like to bring up the lighting as well, because in that specifically, there's a couple scenes where it really stood out to me, but in that scene, it showed, it was dark, the room was dark, and it showed her mom in the frame and Evie and in the doorway, like listening to her pray. And you're like trying to look at but it was just perfectly like to where you could see the mom in the bed, but her face was dark enough where you wouldn't see her mouth moving.
Was I in the bathroom? No. I was okay. I
That was fun.
had a pee break. Yeah,
You're
it was a short
mentally
one.
in the bathroom. In the can.
Yeah. The lighting was everything. Yeah.
And then when she was trying to fall asleep, I think this was like the first time that she had slept in the movie, but she put that
yes, and it starts telling that was like some It crap where it starts saying something that it's not typically saying. Yeah, that was creepy.
But the lighting, it was kind of like a bluish, pinkish like hue, went like that immediately turned on when she started listening to that. So it kind of added this like calming effect, and it put you at ease as a viewer. And then it starts saying like the guided meditation, and then it just goes like, then Abazu comes in and starts talking, like, so she definitely I think this was after she had entered her, like she had entered the house.
Yeah, I think this was like after this. It was either after the first time she heard the recordings, or I think it was the second time after the recordings, because it made you feel more at ease that she was laying down and actually like going to sleep and putting on some guided meditation. But then once you hear it start talking like more evil things, like, oh, drown yourself or something like that.
Yeah, there's something floating to the water.
Yeah.
It's a little sweet thing or whatever. You're just like, holy crap.
So if we're, I don't know, spoiler.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be spoilers.
Okay, yeah. When I walked out of the movie, I do remember talking to you, and I said it's like a movie about abortion or something. Like,
yeah. No, it's
in a way, like our question,
Miscarriage.
Miscarriage.
Because Abazu is the demon of miscarriage.
No shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
She was like, while reading up a little bit about her too, she was infertile, so that caused her to get jealous and then want to kill women that were pregnant to kind of take out her rage on people who could get pregnant, which is an interesting.
Wait, did they explain that in the movie?
I think they like, it was like a brief snippet of when they were like researching a little bit about it, but it's like one of those like blink and you miss it moments.
I think I was in the bathroom.
You might have been. 'Cause I think this was out after like the first scare, but before the second one. So I think there was 3 total like segments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the one of the key points that I really appreciated, like the caretaker daughter, and then there's one of other thing that I'll mention later when we talk about the scariest scenes. But the fact that this was produced on and made with only $500,000 budget, it gave us decisions like where we only see two characters the entire movie. We see Evie and her mom, and then we never actually leave this house. And you mentioned something that you liked that you saw during this film. Do you remember what it was?
They you talking about like there was like an overhead shot with the stairwell.
Yes.
And there's like nothing there. There's just like heavy shadows, and then Evie comes just slowly walking into frame where she's visible. That was creepy, and I don't even know if it was something that other people would go, oh, that kind of spooked me out. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it took me off. Because I've seen so many horror films and jump scares and stuff, like sometimes it gets a little redundant. Depends on the movie and stuff, but that one, I don't know. I guess that kind of was spooky. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Which
It's just like a shot of like everything's quiet, overhead shot of the stairs to the foyer or whatever, the floor. Like, yeah, you're kind of almost like looking down from the second floor stairwell.
Yeah, right. There's a few different shots.
Yeah, and the one, it was just dark for a long time, like many beats, and then finally Evie, she just kind of walks in slowly. It just worked really well, I thought. So
there's a lot of creepy things without having jump scares. That's another thing I appreciated about it. Yeah. You know, the only real jump scares were like the noises. Like loud, like static, and then loud, like at the end when she was, going up to the room, it was just like the flashes of her in the bag or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just that's what, the loud noise is pretty much what got me. It's nothing visually. Like I was expecting to be a jump scare when she was, I think she was sleeping, but like she looked over and like her mom was like, it was like flashing, and her mom was like kind of by the front door in the dark, and she walked up to her and she was like shaking and stuff, and the lights were like flashing and stuff. Like that was so scary, but there was no jump scare, but it terrified me. Like I was like getting ready for it, and I was like, oh. Yeah,
in the background, the mom like showing up, like I think in the kitchen. Like in just standing in that like hallway, like hallway / kitchen area.
That's another thing that reminded me of
very ghostly
of Hereditary, was just like the random images of like a woman standing there or something. And then there was another part where she found we could talk about the I don't know if we're going off subject here, but or off the timeline, but the part where she kept finding the figurine.
Yes, the little Mother Mary.
Mother Mary with all the babies climbing on her. That was something that Abazu kept putting back into place, even though she put it away.
And they put she had in on her chest
like an open
wound, but like it's more like a vaginal like open wound looking thing.
Right. But there's like one part where, she put it up in a closet, and then when she shut also the use of the mirrors. So when she shut the closet door and there was a mirror, there was just like a flash of a woman like in it off that mirror into another mirror. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. And it was just those like subtle things that like just added to the creepiness. Like,
yeah, the figurine was pretty cool. That was definitely different.
And once you saw her put it in the closet, you're like, okay, when am I going to see this thing again? Because you knew it was going to come back out of the closet. But it's funny because you speaking about like how the lighting was so good, like on her mom's face, you're expecting a jump scare, and then the light turns on, and it's almost scary because she's not moving. She's like still comatose.
There was no sign of her speaking whatsoever. Right. She's completely out as she was.
Right. And then another thing that I just thought of right now that kind of got me to that point of like, oh, something's going to happen here. And then nothing did happen. And that makes you kind of like sigh for relief, which I think it puts your it helps you like put your walls down for then things to bring them back up later on. But when she was like in the medicine cabinet and she closed it, I was like, okay, we're gonna see something behind her, because that's like the classic horror movie shot. They close the mirror and there's something behind them.
Right.
But we don't. But then it just escalates from there as we get to I think that's when she took her like sleeping pills, because she was not sleeping for days when she was in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, like she started drinking again, like she had been sober for a while, and it just kind of like drove her to drink again.
They could have like recast the mom as looking a little more like gaunt, thinner, scarier looking for me, I guess, because like when you're dating in your 40s, like saying, but she didn't look like terribly sickly, and she's probably an attractive woman ish, you know what I'm saying? No, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't get much of a, I guess her features, facial features were, I don't know, it wasn't scary enough, but I didn't want it to look fake either. So,
well, I mean, Evie wasn't that old,
right? I know that's the other thing.
If they made the mom look like a grandma, that wouldn't really make sense.
I know. That's the other thing. So scratch that. I don't know how dating got into it.
So like, yeah, and if you guys want to talk about like the shots, like those open shots where it'll just be like her on the podcast and she's talking, it'll show different spaces in the house. It kind of like you feel like Abazu's presence there.
Yeah.
Like, because it just adds like, I don't know why it's so scary, like so freaky and creepy, but like, knowing that Abazu is like in the house, you're kind of waiting for it, but there's nothing there.
Right. And I think we've been conditioned from all these horror movies that, like, because you're seeing something negative in the background, you're assuming that something's going to come out of it or come to form. And even the director, when he was talking in an interview about this movie, he said he thanks the fans for being so imaginative, because a lot of what they were like seeing in the background was their imagination, which I think as a director, that's kind of like, that's a pat in the back for you to be able to create these scenes. Because the whole time I'm thinking, like, when showing her on her podcast and you see like the dark stairs and just the blackness in the background, I'm like, okay, the light turned on automatically up there like a couple days ago, and I know she's a skeptic. She's a hardcore skeptic. Like, you have a demon has to punch this girl in the face for her to believe in it. I'm like, if something turning on a light upstairs, I'm going to turn on the hallway light like 24/7. That thing's never going to turn off. So that was the thing with Evie too. She was like a hardcore skeptic. But the last thing I want to talk about that the director was talking about, like one of the biggest themes for this movie, which I didn't like. You can see it and understand it while it's happening, but I didn't really take it out when I got home. I had to read a little bit about it. But he was saying that this movie is majorly about isolation. And we see that with Evie, as she is home the entire time. Her boyfriend doesn't want to come help her, which is red flag, by the way. And I think that maybe that's where you got into dating, because she's dating a guy that she should probably not be dating. But
I'm thinking about dating her mom.
We want her to be more sickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, that's what I was saying. She looked dateable. You know what I'm saying? Put some makeup on and do your hair.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that.
Sorry, yeah.
To each his own.
But there's a theory out there too that said, like, all this stuff started happening because her mom that was keeping the demon at bay because of her faith, and then now that she's comatose, she's no longer able to provide this support for her daughter, because Evie mentions earlier in the film that like her mom would want to pray with her every single night, and Evie would feel guilty that she didn't want to. Now she wishes she could, but she can't because her mom's like comatose. So that was an interesting theory. After reading that, I'm like, whoa, and I think that adds to like the imagination of us as fans trying to build up more to the story. I don't think it was that deep, unfortunately, but it's cool that people can come out and theorize something that deep.
Yeah, I think that definitely was, because like, and in the end, she even says, to the caller, which another crazy thing I want to bring up about that last caller. It was when she was like, I killed my mom. Yeah. She was like, she asked me to pray with her and I didn't. And, more or less she said that. And so that's just like indicating like also there was no spiritual protection there anymore.
Right.
There was no, because I think her mom had died at some point too. So yeah.
Oh, so you think she was just like dead up there?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, remember it was like, I forgot which point it was, but she was breathing and then she was like,
oh yeah, the long like winded last breath.
Yeah, and then she was dead. Yeah. And so I think that's when Abazu just went full force. That's when it really started ramping up. Because her mom, she completely died. And so I want to see it again because like I forget at which point and then what happened right after that. She lacked spiritual protection because she had no faith. But I want to also bring up there's a lot of things I want to bring up. I have a whole bunch of notes, but going back to the parts where you think you see something, this was like in the beginning of the movie, and she was talking to Justin, her co-host, and there's like a straight on shot, like mid close up of Evie sitting there, and behind her, it looked as if there was like the side of a head, like sitting right behind her, like, but it was like facing like across the other way. I really want to look that up because me and my friend were like, wait, was that side of a head just now? Like,
I did feel like did see things, like soft things in the background, then in the negative space.
Yeah, just like out of focus. You're just like, wait a minute, was there something there?
Right.
Yeah. But like, I thought I was seeing things. I asked my friend, he was like, yeah, I saw there's like a head like right behind her. So.
And see, that would add on to that theory that like this all exploded once her mom passed away. Because like, if say like, okay, her mom is comatose, but she's still alive. Her presence of faith that's still living inside of her body as it's slowly dying is keeping this like demonic entity at bay. But then once she dies, then all the faith in the house dies, because as we see throughout the movie, Evie is a hardcore skeptic, like hardcore. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, that's
how she announces herself.
Yeah, there's like that's like comfort and safety, like when you're like the skepticism was like her, because she was actually scared.
Yeah.
Because she did believe in that. Right. Like she was like, remain skeptical to keep that comfort.
Even like in the beginning of the film where he I think his name was Justin, he wanted to send her this video that it was kind of like it reminded me of The Ring, that if you watch it, like you die later on. And she was like, oh, I don't want to see that. And it's like, oh, why don't you want to see that? Do you not want to see it because you know, like, you kind of believe in it? But she's like, oh, no, I don't believe in it anyways. So it was a cop-out for her character. But you see that throughout the movie, that she's pushing this stuff away. Like, no, it's not real. It's not real. All right. So we...
No, you're right. Like, if you're a skeptic, you would normally...
But it's easy to do too. Like it's easy to, like if you hear something in your house and you're in your home alone, you hear something fall, you're like, oh, there's like, I put something on the edge of the counter or something. You're trying to like rationalize it in your head so it's not as scary.
Yeah.
You got something else?
No, nothing. Okay. That's good.
So we talked about the things that worked in this movie. Now let's talk about the things that didn't work. We're going to talk about the flags on the play. If we're throwing a flag on the play, what flag are you throwing on this movie in terms of like the things that you thought did not land? And I'll start this off. I got two things. I want to throw a flag on the play for the email, because our demons just out here like emailing people randomly. How did they get those files? It never explained how she got the files. It just said a random sender, and then when he tries to send them a message back, it said he got the mailer demon message that it didn't exist. So I'm like, oh, so the demon's just out here like sending emails to see who answers. And then
it's not mail.
Yeah, exactly. And then the ending, again, that was just I understand it, so that's left for interpretation, and now understanding more so that like her mom actually passed away, and understanding like the full possession, because that was another part of that theory, was that her mom was possessed at that point because she'd already passed away, yet you see her standing against the wall, or in the closet, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I just thought I would have liked to see more during that ending. I would have liked to see, like, we did have that amazing build up with all the lights going on, that creepy video on the screen with Justin saying Evie, 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 and her like just being brought into this world, and then it just fizzles out, and then we see like and then a couple scenes, and then it's done. Those are going to be my 2 flags on the plate. Do you guys have anything that didn't work for you in that movie?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I was honestly like, I guess it adds to the mystery of how they got that email. Because that's what I was like thinking. I was like, a part of me the whole time thought that Justin was behind it.
Oh, like he was pranking her?
Not pranking her, but like he was like in league with the demon.
Oh.
Because at one point, I don't know if this was Abazu manipulating the audio to mess with Evie, but this was like the last file. And Jessa said, "No, Justin, stop."
All right.
And then remember, she was like, she just said Justin. She's like, "You're behind this." And he's like, "No, I wouldn't do that." Like,
right.
So that kind of like left a loose end for me.
Yeah.
As well, there was not really much explanation besides my own interpretation that was Abazu
trying to like
messing with her to get her to go even crazier, to make her feel even more isolated, because she's like, now she believes that her best friend is in on this.
Yeah, I could throw a flag on that. Yeah, I can go with that. It just, I wish that it went into it a little bit more than, I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't do that. I don't know. I feel like could have been like rewritten a little bit clearer, because I don't know. I kept questioning like the whole email thing, and then him. You don't see him. You don't need to, but you're definitely drawing more out of it than I did. So it makes me want to rewatch it after doing a podcast on it.
Yeah. I feel like after talking about it, you definitely like are like, okay, I need to like go see if I notice these things more, or if I miss something like that. I'm wondering, like, did I miss something? Like,
like when I was in the bathroom for most of the movie. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just saying, like, definitely something that I missed for sure.
Well, it's fun to think about too, because in Paranormal Activity they explain, I think it was the second or third one, that the demon gets stronger the more like negative emotions come into the house. So I don't think it's this deep, but it's cool to like put our own depth into it, that her, like the demon putting Justin's name in the recording caused that trust to be like kind of damaged, and then for, like you said, Evie to feel more isolated. And when people are isolated, they say that's when people are succumb to the depression, to like all those negative emotions of real life. So it's kind of creepy to think about, like, that the demon, because I didn't even realize that she said no Justin on the recording. I missed that part.
And she's pregnant. She found out she was pregnant as well.
She's already going through like lots of emotions.
Yeah.
She's not even sure if she wants the baby at first, because again, as I mentioned earlier, like her boyfriend doesn't seem like he's a keeper, and Justin, he seems like he's a great friend. He's like, yeah, we haven't seen you in like 10 years, I think he said. He's like, I'll leave work and drive over there to hang out with you. I'm like, wow, that's a good friend right there.
Yeah.
So
he's in like England, so he was like, I'll take some time off and like come help you take care of your mom and stuff like that. So it almost seems like he maybe like want to be romantically involved with her, like, because when she asked about her or his girlfriend, she's like, oh, how are things with so and so, and he's like, oh, they're good, thinking about getting a cat.
Oh,
kind of downplaying their relationship because like he really likes her.
I mean, that could be a thing. They make podcasts together, so a guy and a girl making podcasts together, that's romantic. So.
That's a connection right there.
Feel a tremendous like chemistry between the two of them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
they got good chemistry for sure.
Yeah, I saw, and this is like someone else threw a flag on this play, and I'm asking you guys if you wave it off or if you accept the flag. Someone was saying that one of the issues with this movie was you're listening to two hack podcast hosts talking the whole time, but I'm like, I thought they did, like, Justin was very like not faith focused, but he believed everything he was hearing, whereas Evie was very skeptic and wanted to oppose it. So like that dichotomy was interesting to me, for him to be like, oh yeah, this is real, and she's like, no, it's not real, it's clearly not real, almost to a point where she's like comedically skeptic. It's funny.
I thought that, I was like, for having a paranormal podcast, she was a little too skeptical.
Yeah, right, she was very skeptical.
But maybe that's their dynamic. Like, that's kind of like their angle. Like, one guy, it's like super into it and believes everything in it, and then because he was doing all the research too, and she's just kind of like sitting there like, no, I don't think that's true.
In the like I think it's like the first 5 minutes she says, and I'm the skeptic, when she introduces herself, like when they start recording. I'm like,
so she's kind of like, yeah.
So that laying down her character.
So that's her character. Yeah.
And I guess she does say later, like when they're recording and they like pause for a second because she's like feeling fear. She's like, "No, we're in character. Get back in character and let's continue this." And it's like, oh, okay, so they're kind of playing the role of it.
Oh, okay, so they have roles. Okay,
but
that makes
even
sense.
then, though, there's when all this stuff starts happening. She's like when the woman's calling about like, "Oh, I killed my baby." She's like, "No, you didn't. Like this is a prank call." Like understandably so. I guess that's something that you would think is more like.
So you're talking about the very last one where it was. So
like the guy before saying like he knew that the couple.
Yeah, he knew the couple. Then there was another lady that said, "Oh, I lived with this crazy lady who always played her records in reverse."
Yes.
And then the third caller, her name was Abby. Abazu. So that's when she was like, that's when she kind of like got it made Evie got empathetic, and she was like, "You're a good person. Don't do this," like, trying to help her, and then started maniacally laughing.
Yeah.
So that was Abby, Abazu.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like you hear the crying and then the and it just
it's a reference to her own baby that she's pregnant with. Because isn't Abazu the miscarriage? Well, maybe that's what I was saying. Like, there's some abortion like thoughts in there, because she's saying, I'm gonna kill my baby.
Yeah, like her baby was already alive.
Right. And I'm just saying it's kind of reflexive. It kind of goes back, like, because she doesn't know she's gonna keep her baby. Just saying.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, she wasn't sure. She was kind of like.
And then there's this whole like birthing thing, and then they got the mom in the house who gave birth to the lead character, or Evie. Yeah. And then, Abazu being the god of miscarriage. Yeah. Isn't it? Our god is a spirit of miscarriage.
She's essentially taking her infertility out on other women. She's like, if I can't have kids, nobody is, and she's out here popping moms because of it.
Okay,
yeah, it's just like a vengeful demon. Yeah.
Makes a little more sense.
And it almost like the woman that was like, I can't quiet my baby, I'm thinking about just ending it all. That was a very dark phone call, by the way. But when you're hearing like on that phone call, I think before that phone call, you hear like almost slamming noises upstairs, and people are saying that was the demon like slamming the baby into like,
in the bag. Yeah,
which is a terrible thing to think about. Like,
oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, you just hear the crying, and then you hear what.
Yeah.
What? And then the crying stops, and you're just, it's chilling. Like, it's disturbing.
Infanticide or inficide. How do you pronounce? Yeah, it's
emphasize.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's not like the most like cheery thing to think about.
No. But we go into these horror movies to be shocked. Disturbed and shocked, and I don't know. It's not for everybody, but that's why we enjoy it, because we see the deeper meanings behind it, and like, obviously it's not a good thing,
right? Right. And then we even get into, and this is going to be part of the next segment of Film Room Breakdown, we get into things like children's songs becoming more creepy when you actually know the lyrics to them. And I got a couple, like the main ones on this movie were Baba Black Sheep and London Bridge is Falling Down. So just Googling. Oh, they also mentioned Rockabye Baby. A baby like being in a tree and falling to his death, which it's a whole thing. But when you have like this concept of things that are supposed to be fun and innocent for kids, and then you turn it with a dark thing, that's always been something that's been creepy to me. So like, speaking of London Bridges Falling Down, this is from Thrillist.com. It says, so most historians think that this refers to Norwegian King Olaf II, aka the Frozen Snowman King, attacking and knocking down the London Bridge in 1014, which gave the throne back to Ethelred the Unready, which is my second favorite king name after his successor, Swen Forkbeard. Anyway, that part seems relatively mundane, and I'm all about Viking tales, but there is another theory that comes from an old belief that a bridge would collapse without human sacrifice buried within its foundation. So the, quotes, man to watch all night, end quote, is actually the spirit of the dead human watching over the bridge. What do you guys think about that theory for London Bridge falling down? Because I think they mentioned that in the movie that the bridge is falling down because there's not enough bodies underneath it.
Yeah, they mentioned like a queen. I forget which one. It's like, but that's basically the same thing. Is that she, was told that she by a spirit or a demon that she needs to reinforce the bridge with bodies of children.
Yeah.
Like in the foundation of the bridge.
I believe it. They're pretty creepy. Some of these.
They did demonic things back then too. Like especially in
what's the one with
Victorian age.
The plague? Which one is that? Falling
Ring
down
Around the Rosie.
Yeah.
Ring Around the Rosie. I think that was about the plague.
Yeah.
So again, like to what you were saying, like how they take horrific things like and make them like nursery rhymes that they sing to them as babies.
Yes.
Like that's like why?
Right. And they mention like in the movie it's because like the children have to suffer for the parents' sins, which
like cautionary tales.
Yeah. Which honestly, if you think about it, it makes it like feel more unsettling because as adults, we're all born into sin. Like if you want to talk about like where we come from originally anyways, but kids are like the most innocent most of the time, are the most innocent of the most innocent, yet throughout their life, they are constantly tainted sometimes by the negativities of life, whether it be an adult that's just spewing negativity towards this kid and bringing them down, or someone calling them ugly and then they're living with that constant voice in their head the rest of their life. That's what it made me think when they said like, oh, it's because they're suffering from the sins of their parents. But it just makes me think that like kids are these, even like Jesus said, like if the ones that are to be like kids, the one who talks away or turns a kid away from a religion is certainly bound not for heaven, because that a kid is represented as the most innocent being in this world. Yet how many times do we see like adults that should know better treating kids like terribly? Not even talking about like parentals, just random people on the street where like a kid annoys them and then they take out their adult anger on this little kid. Stuff that dwells in them.
People with their own like, almost their own self-loathing, and they project it on this innocent because the kids can't do anything back to them.
Yeah.
So they see this, little thing that's defenseless and can't, punch back necessarily or say anything back.
Yeah, they're little antennas, receptors, like little vessels that get filled up with all that negativity and it turns into PTSD.
It hurts them. Their confidence later and dealing with that.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, I guess it's just
I've got some.
life. That's doing it.
Got a little. Yeah, I got a little.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that.
That'll be for a different episode.
Yeah.
But just speaking one more about Baba Black Sheep, and I just want to read what Thrillist wrote about this. This isn't creepy so much as just complaining about King Edward's wool tax, which gave a third of the cost to the king, a third to the church, and the rest to the farmer who could barely cover his expenses. The original version said, but none for the little boy who cries in the lane. Compared to others, this is basically the happiest nursery rhyme of all time. So again, it's just talking about life's struggles built into a children's song that sounds so upbeat, but when you go back and read the lyrics, you're like, wait, that's not as upbeat as I... Like, it makes me think of Pumped Up Kicks, which is such an upbeat song, but it's about his brother going out and murdering people.
Was this
The all the other kids with the by Foster people.
Oh, Pumped Up Kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of those kind of songs that like are happy in tone, but then you see the lyrics and you're like, wait, that's about killing people.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I like that song. I like it. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, have you ever heard the
I
lyrics?
recently looked that up because I was like, is this about the Columbine shooting?
That was like a theory about it.
But the Foster the People came out and said that it has to do with not necessarily about killing, but kind of how like it hurts like the kids' self-esteem, like with bullying. I think it was a little more in depth than that. But I'd recently, because I hear that song all the time. It comes on my Spotify, and I was like, wait, what is this song really about? Because I was like seeing if it was about like a certain event that happened.
Right. Because the lyrics of that song goes, Robert's got a quick hand. He'll look around the room, but won't tell you his plan, which immediately makes you think of like school shooter.
Yeah.
He's got a rolled cigarette hanging out his mouth. He's a cowboy kid. Yeah. He's found a 6-shooter gun in his dad's closet with a box of fun things. I don't even know what, but he's coming for you. Yeah, he's coming for you. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, outrun my gun. So yeah, he's talking about like kids
Faster than my bullet.
Yes.
It's like such a smooth song for.
Right?
I had no idea. I had no idea.
So
I like that song.
I mean, it's a good song. It was number one for the longest of time too, and it's just now it's going down as one of the most happiest, depressing songs like ever because they do such a good job of making it like very happy sounding.
Wow.
All right, and then the last breakdown I want to talk about in this movie is the emotional arc of guilt and regret. Like we said earlier, that Tuason kind of brought in his own feelings of guilt, wanting his parents to just cease so he can be over that aspect of the life, which it sounds kind of selfish, but it's understandable when you're like caretaking for someone that you know is for sure gonna die.
It's also like seeing them suffer.
Yes.
Like you don't want to see your parents suffer like that.
Right.
You know? It's like the physical toil, and then also the mental toil of like, oh man, like that would just destroy you to see your parents suffer like that.
Yeah. And then you see like when they do pass away, I don't know about y'all, but when someone I love passes away, I feel regret. Like, oh, I could have done more. I could have like talked to them, or I could have called them. We see that Evie is already feeling that when she's saying that she stopped praying with her mom and that she killed her mom, that we see that regret coming up from her. It's tough taking care of someone that you love and that you know they're going to die. Because I think we all deep down would have that selfish feeling of like, oh, whether it be like justified, like, oh, I just want them to end suffering, or it's like, oh, I want them to move on so I can have my life back, which it's unfortunate, but death does that sometimes. Do you guys have anything more to add about that? Like any more hidden deeper themes that you picked up on this movie?
Are you gonna go into like a biblical tie-in? Yes. Okay, yeah, I'll save it for that.
Yep, we're going into Through the Lens of Faith, where we tie in biblical parallels into this movie, which, not gonna lie, is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, because there's a lot of like religion overtones in this movie. Her mom is a devout Catholic who would pray with her daughter every night, doing the Mother Mary prayer. And you see throughout the house, there's paintings of like Jesus and other saints.
Which it cuts to a lot during like the creepiest moments. It'll cut to pictures of Jesus and a crucifix and a painting of like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph and stuff.
Right. And I'm honestly like, when you see that giant crucifix at the top of the staircase, I'm expecting one time when she comes back out, it's supposed to be like upside down, because I'm expecting something's going to happen here. It never does, thankfully. And that was like something you and Austin talked about in your podcast, which is the Found Men podcast. And I will be putting a link in this video as well, that you guys talked a little bit about the upside down cross. Do you want to talk about that now, or you want people just go listen to the episode?
I mean, no, I can touch on it a little bit because we do go in depth, but it's the inverted cross, like it's used a lot in Satanism and, metal and stuff like that.
And horror movies.
As kind of, in horror movies, Exorcist, that's the classic, the crucifix is flipped. But it's actually not satanic. It is like, it means nothing when it goes inverted in like anything else but besides the Bible. The biblical tie-in is that that's how St. Peter got requested to be crucified, because he felt he was unworthy to be crucified up, right side up like Jesus did.
Right.
So that's where the inverted cross came from, St. Peter.
It was more so not of like a rebellion, but just a appreciation for the Messiah, essentially, that he was like, I'm not worthy to be crucified like him.
Right. Yeah. So I never understood that's not, the slap in the face to God because you're wearing that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Inverted cross. In reality, it's a, biblically accurate thing.
Right.
So the people that are trying to be like, yeah, screw you, God, and you're not doing anything.
Right. And I think that was my concept of, I thought that was like the symbol of the Antichrist, because I was like, oh, it's disrespecting Jesus because it's turning his cross upside down. But I never knew about like the St. Peter aspect of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of like biblical parallels in this movie, what else you got?
So first thing I got was really how cunning Satan is in that movie. He used Evie's curiosity, and when she was listening to the reverse audio, it got her to repeat in Abazu that many times to where it allowed Abazu
almost adding that invitation to come in.
Yeah, that invitation, right? Because she wasn't trying to summon anything. She was just like trying to decipher what it was,
right.
What it was saying. So she repeated it like 6 or 7 times, and that just gave Abazu full permission to enter.
Right.
Yeah, like I said before, Evie's lack of faith or religion, kind of lack spiritual protection, essentially.
And we never see her mom prayed with her entire life, and she's like rebelling against that. But despite everything happening, she never prays the entire movie. She doesn't sit down and say like, oh, I'm going to pray.
She's a skeptic.
Yeah.
She's extremely skeptical. She doesn't believe it anymore. When I was an atheist and, was into Satanism, I wouldn't either. So once you walk away from that, you're just kind of like, oh, this doesn't exist. I'm not going to, lower myself to pray to God that doesn't exist. So another thing that I caught was in Jess's dream, she was describing how she saw a shadow that wasn't Mike in their room. And so in her dream, Jess started praying the Hail Mary, the same prayer that Evie's mom was quote unquote praying. But the shadow that she saw started praying with her.
Oh, yeah.
So that was maybe conclude even demons can quote scripture.
Yeah.
Yep. Satan did it multiple times in the desert with Jesus on that 40 days.
Yeah.
And it was even praying the Mother Mary prayer as her mom when she went into the room.
Yeah, that was Abazu there. Oh yeah, and I was also curious. This is more like a curious thing for me. Like when the Bible was open on the nightstand, kept doing shots to that. Evie's mom had that, open. I was wondering what book of the Bible it was opened up to.
Let me see if I can. While I'm looking this up, you got anything, Scott?
Yeah, I just kept thinking about how immediately, she's debating whether or not she should go through with an abortion without saying it and stuff like that. And then you got the spirit of miscarriage going on. So I just put in, what does the Bible say about abortion in my Bible app? And it's
not a sponsor.
No. I got 2 Psalms. Let's see. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. And the other one is, you watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. Yep. So, I don't know, I kind of think of that, and I think of the figurine and stuff. It's like a Mother Mary, right?
Yeah. I think that's what it was, right? That was a Mother Mary's figurine, this statuette. But I didn't understand I think it was like a vaginal opening.
I think they're they're either crawling back in, yeah, because they're all crawling up. because it was
Could be a symbolism for death. Babies crawling back into the womb is kind of like the opposite of birth.
yeah.
I mean, when she told, like, when the doctor's like, "Oh, I can set you up with another specialist for this," and she takes time, and she's like, "No, I'll let you know." He pauses for like a good couple seconds, like, "Oh, okay." Like, you can tell he's kind of disturbed by that she's not wanting this to happen. But to speak on the Bible passage that you were talking about, that we open up and there's her mom's glasses are on, and there's something that's highlighted there. It is apparently the verse where Jesus raises a girl from the dead. I think it was in Matthew.
That's what I thought, because I saw one word and it says she is not laying there, but she is alive, or something like that.
Yeah, I was looking, and I do remember
Matthew?
she is. It's like the beginning of it, or something, or one of the paragraphs. I do remember seeing she is.
Yeah, it's Gaius's daughter. Yeah. That's Mark 5:21 through 43.
Hey, and this is Mark 5:21 through 43. He pleaded with him earnestly, sit with him, saying, "My little daughter is dying. Please come and put your hands on her so that she will be healed and live." So Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed him around him, and a woman who was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. And this is the story from that. Then he continues on his journey, and then goes, he took her by the hand and said to her, "Talitha koram," which means, "Little girl, I say you get up." Immediately the girl stood up and began to walk around. She was only 12 years old. At this, they were completely astonished. He gave strict orders not to let anyone know about this and told them to give her something to eat. Which almost, like, the fact that they chose that specific makes me even think more so that the mom was keeping the demon at bay. Because the mom has a story that she's reading in the Bible that is about Jesus bringing back from the dead a little girl, saving a girl's life. And she's like, it's almost like she's pre-read that for her daughter while she's going through this thing. But unfortunately, once the mom dies, so does any of the faith in the house for Evie, and that's when Abazu just comes and just takes over completely.
Something I feel like they could have added to that is, like, once the mom died, it has that scene of her taking her last breath. It should have shown, like, Abazu shutting the Bible.
Right.
They could add a little more creepiness, like, and a little more, like, okay, like, there's no spiritual protection at all.
Yeah, it didn't go too deep in that direction. Either way, it didn't, kind of kept it really open-ended.
And that's where I feel like, where I agree with you in terms of the writing, it could have just been a lot more detailed, where they would have that clarity, because there's a lot of unanswered questions in terms of what was going on.
I wish there was more. I mean, that's what the director or the writer chose. He is the writer, screenwriter. But, you know,
there was one thing that I was kind of like looking up beforehand to see what this movie entails, like, as scripture. And it brought me to Ephesians, which is funny because in our men's group, TJ just posted a scripture from Ephesians, and I'm pretty sure it was the same one. It was Ephesians 6:11 through 12, the armor of God. "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in this heavenly places." And that's essentially what this movie is entirely about. Like, she's not fighting against any physical being in this movie. She's fighting against her rebellion against the faith, and then against her demon that is trying to take part in her life. Which, now the more we talk about this, I'm pretty sure her mom was the one keeping the demon at bay the entire movie, and that once she's gone, that's the end of the...
100%.
I just wish she did a better job portraying that.
that's what I'm saying.
All right, so that is the Through the Lens of Faith. Before we get into last couple segments, I want to ask you guys, what was the scariest scene for you in the entire movie? If you can just choose one scene, what was the scariest scene for you?
So, images of, like, women smiling, like the picture of Abazu, that red face.
Yeah. Like on the TV screen?
Yeah, that was terrifying. I don't know if that's more terrifying or the scene where her mom was standing up, you know, kind of in the doorway and was shaking. It was just like a dream of hers. It was like, you know, in the doorway to her podcast room, her, like, living room or her dining room. Like, she, like, looked over and it was, like, dark and it was flashing and stuff. And her mom was like hunched over and like shaking all crazy.
Okay, yeah.
This part where I thought that it was gonna be a jump scare, like, but that like as she got closer to her, I was like she was breathing all rapidly and like it like freaked me out. It like set my anxiety skyrocketing, dude. I was almost like oh my gosh.
I remember that one now. I was thinking you were talking about when she like walks in and sees her just like standing up against the wall, but like not looking at us.
Then another scary scene was when I think it was Abazu. She was up on standing up like near the staircase next to the crucifix. She was like standing up on the wall with her hands out like that.
I don't see that one. Was it like a flash?
I think it was.
Hold on, I'll show you.
Or did we see the same movie? Yeah, because like that's why I want to go back and watch it again, because maybe I could watch it in slow motion. Some of the scenes, yeah, because when they started kicking in, well, especially toward the end, it was just like boom, 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 a lot of flicker. Well, for me, the scariest, like, just kind of the negative space when you couldn't tell if you're seeing something or not, which happened frequently. Not so much in the beginning of the movie, but more like once, I think it's like right around after you see her mom like standing in the background, like, you know, in her nightgown in the kitchen, but you can't see like her facial features or anything. Like it's just very ghostly and soft. Like that's creepy.
And it just adds to that lighting, the whole lighting situation that Tuason does a really good job of doing this movie.
Yeah, I do remember this part though.
Oh, I remember that shot. I didn't realize there was someone there in the background.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
She's standing up there on the
okay. Yeah, that's
on
cool.
the staircase, little like mantelpiece.
Oh,
Someone's standing up there with her back turned. Yeah, the back turn stuff like that freaks me out. Like, yeah, and like also it wasn't like terrifying, but like when the mom was like in the closet and she saw her like looking in the reflection and she starts walking backwards.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And then
Yeah, I
she
do
turns
remember
around
that.
and she's like fully comatose still.
Yeah. And one more thing I'd like to add is at the very beginning of the movie shows Undertone. It takes it just, you know, DER tone, takes that away and just
yeah.
So it's like, what does that mean? Like her wanting to undo the guilt and
And the baby.
and all that stuff? Or like,
And they did it like they made it into a palindrome, which is like taking and flipping it upside down, made it still
did they flip it upside down?
It was like slowly flipping as it faded out.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I saw it like kind of turning.
Yeah, because I was wondering like, oh, are we gonna get something about like? I immediately thought the upside down and Stranger Things, but I was like, oh, is this gonna have to do with something? I was trying to think the whole time like, oh, what does that mean? Like flipping it upside down.
Is it?
I was thinking that they were going to take sections, 2 letters of the word.
Yeah, because you're thinking of like it, you know, going upside down. Yeah.
Yeah. Originally, I thought they were going to like take the 2 letters of each and make it like different chapters or whatever.
Oh, an ambergram.
Is that right?
Twins.
Ambigram is like when it is flipped upside down, rotated 180 degrees. Yeah, well, right?
Yeah, the red face on the TV. Yeah, that really did it for me.
And just like the whole room illuminating into that red.
Yeah.
Yeah, so an ambergram from which it can simply be just her world being turned upside down.
And there's a lot of shots doing the same thing.
Oh yeah,
The camera just kind of like tilting
the canted angle. Yeah.
To make it feel like uneasy and
Right, things are
creepy.
stilted.
The scariest scene for me, like I said earlier, it was not a scene that I think was intentionally meant to be like a horror scene, but her going out to finally relieve some of her stress and party and then coming back and then seeing her mom laying flat on the floor, that to me is terrifying, because not only just seeing your mom like that, you're like, okay, is she okay? Did I kill her because I was gone? I selfishly went out and had my own fun and I came back to this punishment that is what I deserve. So it like that scene hit me hard, because just thinking like if I was watching my mom, and I know if I left, I would be out like thinking the whole time like, oh, is she okay? Is she okay? Does she need me? And then if I came home to that, I would feel like immense amounts of guilt. So,
oh yeah, the guilt, adding to the guilt of the kind of like the theme behind the movie was like, I feel like it was guilt, And it's like, how did she get there?
Exactly. You wonder if Abazu did it, or
I think
it had to have been, right?
I had to.
No, I think he did.
Yeah.
And it's kind of messed up. She's just like planking on the ground, and it's like, oh, mom.
Yeah, because she's completely unable to move.
She can't swallow her pills.
Yeah.
Do I?
Can't swallow her pills.
Yeah.
That we know.
I thought she was going to come back that night, too, but she stayed out all night and came back in the morning.
Yeah, but you kind of feel like she deserved it, because she was going through like a lot of stress, and then knowing that she's pregnant, but the guy, and she's still drinking, but the guy that she's with, and it's his kid, she has like little to no care about her. Well,
yeah, he's just a neglectful guy that she's possibly going to have a kid with.
All right, so we got a couple more things before we end this.
It'll be good for when it does stream. Put your headphones in, like, your good quality headphones. As far as like the audio tones of like the atmosphere sounds, and then when she takes the headphones off, she gets the atmospheric noise and stuff. But when she puts them on, it's all like noise canceling, and you feel like you're like in between those speakers. So yeah, I think it would be a good streaming experience with headphones.
And I agree, because we watched it in Dolby Digital Max, and that sound quality was fantastic.
Saw the Dolby?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like the quality of the sound was amazing. And just her like putting on her headphones and then taking them off, and you hear all the background noise, you're like, wow, I didn't realize there was that much background noise.
Yeah, the noise canceling like headphone effect, like that was sick how they made that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it. I'm no audio engineer. Maybe it's not that crazy, but
yeah, it probably isn't that crazy, but it's just something they had to like stick to as far as their plan. Yeah, no, it's cool. I love it. That's the best thing about the movie is the audio or sound design.
And speaking about the best thing in the movie, that's going to bring us to the last thing. All right. Y'all gave me your scores in the beginning. You had it at a 6. You had it at a 7.5. One, have your scores changed since we've discussed this movie? And two, if you can give one sentence verdict for everyone out there that is on the fence about watching this movie, what is your sentence going to be? Who wants to go first?
I can.
got it. All right.
Well, I would say if you're on the fence seeing it, it's probably the start of a fruitful career or interesting career for the director, writer. So, yeah. If you want to like follow that and you're into A24 productions, I would say, go see it. Yeah. It's not bad. I just didn't think it was terrific or too engaging. I'm going to go with the IMDb score of 6.3.
6.3. Hey, you moved him up 0.3.
Oh, I thought you said 6.5 before.
No.
Or you said 6?
Yeah, I said 6,
okay.
and then he said I walked out of the movie saying I'd give it a 4. Yeah, I think I did.
I was just dwelling on that ending. I could not, like, I had a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, I need to go research about this film, because that ending was... Okay, but you 6.3 now?
Yeah.
It seems to be a lot, like a lot of movies is up for the viewer's interpretation kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of movies nowadays, I personally can get past it. It's, of course I wish that it kind of like had more of the ending spelled out, like what actually happened. Right. But just that audio of what was going on, I'm like, and then I loved the happy music as soon as the credits started rolling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's cute. Yeah.
It's almost like mirroring the children's songs being happy with like creepy
I
undertone
think
music.
it was more of like, it was such a messed up movie that the director was like, I gotta like put something happy in here
Gotta
right now
sanitize
to like
the people.
Yeah, sanitize, gotta bring spirits back up as you leave the theater, like, so you're not like traumatized.
Right.
A palate cleanser.
Maybe that's what made me feel more perturbed at the ending. Like you just hear happiness and it's like, what? That's it? But okay, so and you had it at a 7.5 out of 10. What is your final score and what is your final one sentence verdict?
I stand strong on the 7.5. I would say don't have any expectations going into it because, I mean, just from watching the trailer, I feel like that didn't do anything. Like it was way more than what the trailer made it seem like it was going to be.
Right.
So yeah, it makes it more enjoyable if you don't have any expectations. Don't look things up before you go see it. Be completely surprised. I almost did. I almost looked up some YouTube videos on it and like kind of like a breakdown. I was like,
No.
stop it. And then I watched the breakdown afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good staple though, like watching a movie that you're kind of like, okay, I didn't understand a lot, and then going into the breakdown, you're like, oh, that's what that meant. Because on the drive home, I had it like playing audio, not watching it while I drive, audio only. YouTube Premium, you can turn off the screen while you listen to the video. Fun fact. So it's kind of like listening to a podcast, but I was listening to a breakdown of it too, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't understand like more so of the isolation or the guilt that was being portrayed in the film.
yeah, and I think the reason I looked it up is because I heard that review from Abby's friend. My wife's name is Abby, not Abazu, but
Yeah.
so he's that made me be like, huh. Like, do I want to go see this? So I kind of like started and I was like, no, I'm not feeling any spiritual conviction to go see this. God's not telling me not to go see this because, there is, some people say like, demons can come off the screen and, enter your soul and possess you in the movie theater. I don't necessarily believe that. If you're strongly rooted in your faith, then it's biblical that it says that demons cannot enter your body.
Right.
So
that's what I think about it too. Like I and I'm not throwing shade on anyone who does have those like skeptical beliefs that watching like a horror movie can bring evil into your life, because I think there are moments in your life, like if you're going through something serious and you watch something like that, it can potentially like bring you down a level. But I agree with you. Like if you're deep rooted in your faith, like something small like that, it's not going to knock you down. Maybe it like will potentially like open the door for you maybe to want to go deeper into it, but I don't think that's
not if you're like spiritually mature. Like if you're spiritually mature, like, okay, I'm not going to deep dive into this and dwell on it. It's when Satan plants that in your brain and you go off on that and gives them more of a foothold to influence you to, oh, maybe you should try this spiritual practice or witchcraft or something like that, or maybe you get curious, oh, can I actually summon a demon, like happened with Evie? Like you like maybe somebody is like, oh, I'm gonna listen to this stuff backwards because I saw it in this movie, listen to songs in reverse, and then you never know.
Which is a creepy thing in itself. Speaking specifically, like the Beatles, they used to do that a lot. And even Stairway to Heaven had like a notorious part that if you reversed it, it actually spoke something, which was kind of creepy.
Yeah. That's and then Tool has... Yeah, it's Tool. They have a song where it's like the end of a song where they just have an audio of some guy reading German chocolate cake.
Oh yeah,
ingredients and
with
backwards.
The eggs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and they put it in reverse to like make it creepy sound. It literally sounds demonic.
No, it's in German. It's spoken in German, and it's just like him saying it in a kind of like
but they put
charismatic way.
They put it in reverse though.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. I've heard it a lot.
But yeah, it's all about you're having discernment with these types of things. So it's important as being a Christian seeing horror movies.
Okay. All right, so still 7.5. All right, I've changed mine. I would start off at a 4.5. I'll boost it up to a 5.5. I really want to hammer home the aspect that a lot of the cinematography, a lot of the audio stuff in this movie, a lot of the visual stuff pulled in this movie was fantastic. I don't know why. I think it's making me think of The Long Walk, which have you guys seen that movie, The Long Walk?
I want to.
No,
I was supposed to see that in theaters. That's a Stephen King.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm interested once y'all watch that movie to let me know what you think about that ending, because I'm not gonna say anything about that. But I'll boost it up to a 6, because there is a lot working for this movie, and there's movies that have not done so well in the past that I've rated higher. So I'm not understanding why it's a 6. I know I'm big into story, and I would have liked things spelled out a little bit more, but I think for his first film, this was like a really good introduction to the mind of Ian Tuason. And my verdict for this movie is just going to be really, really, really great potential for an up-and-coming director that will potentially make his mark in Hollywood history if he can keep it up. We've seen like people like this go high on their first movie and then kind of go down afterwards. You mentioned Osgood Perkins. People hyped up Longlegs, and then since then, have you seen The Monkey?
No, I heard that was bad too.
Yeah, that movie was terrible.
And it looked so good on the trailer.
I agree. The trailer makes you think that it's going to be like this good, creepy
Final
horror
Destination
movie.
style,
But
I read the review and I said, no, I'm not going to watch it. So I'll always read a review first.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm not wasting my time.
Oh, yeah, I know with Osgood Perkins, like, the trailer, don't go by the trailer.
Right.
Because Keeper looked freaking awesome. It looked, like, really scary. And I was like, the whole movie, I was like, why did I pay $15, $16 for this?
Well, maybe because you were following the director or whatever. If you follow like the director, an actor or a writer or something, or a production studio, I understand. Like, you know, I don't even have to watch a review or listen or read a score, but yeah.
It's like, I'm not even like an Osgood Perkins like fan or anything.
Yeah.
I just saw the trailer and I was like, this looks good, and then I was like, this is not good.
that's how I felt about The Monkey. Like, once I saw the first trailer, I was like, let's go. I'm so hyped. The Monkey is creepy. It's a Stephen King adaptation. And then watching it, I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
It's like Monkey Shines, like another adaptation of Monkey Shines, where there was like a 1980s feature length of Stephen King's Monkey Shines, directed by George A. Romero, the Night of the Living Dead guy. But anyway, I don't know. You know, they had like a little, you know, the ones that the clapping, with the little symbols. Yeah, is that the same thing? And
I don't know if it's the same. I know this one was based on the Stephen King like novella, so it was like a short story. But I would think so.
All right, I'll have to look that one up. Anyway,
Just going with low expectations, and you probably won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
oh right,
Yeah, honestly, like, I saw the trailer for Undertone, and I was like, this looks, you know, I'll see this. You know, I was not expecting it to be as good as it was.
Yes, but now there's a new movie that came out, and it's called The Whistle, which is the same concept as The Monkey. Like, you blow the whistle, someone in the world dies. Again, that trailer looked good. That's another one that was giving me Monkey vibes, but looked like it was going to be actually like horror and not like a dark comedy.
Any upcoming movies?
Yes.
That you want to see?
There is, I mentioned it to Scott while we were watching, or after this movie. It's called Obsession.
Yes. With the YouTube director.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. Okay. Yeah,
That looks good, because I like that guy's channel.
it
Yes.
sounded more interesting. Well,
And it's a very short film, too. It came out in 2025, but it was one of those, like,
It was at
film
a
festivals.
festival.
Yeah. And then it was turned into this full, and it's the comedian slash YouTube slash Facebook Reels, Curry Barker and Cooper Tomlinson, that their stuff is hilarious. So you know, when people are so tied into that comedy, how they can easily turn into the horror aspect of it. And just the concept of this movie looks like crazy, where she's like all cut up and she's like, do you still love me? And so like, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with this one.
And like, I know since they're showing like a lot during the trailer, I'm like hoping that they're not showing all the good parts in the trailer, and then like I hope there's a lot more like crazy stuff that happens. for me, or sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Oh, I'm excited for Disclosure Day.
See, is that going to be a horror movie?
I think it's more sci-fi.
But it has some creep to it.
The noise that she makes, the clicking,
Yeah.
like that looks creepy, but I think it's a sci-fi.
Okay.
Because it might be something with like downloading your consciousness into an avatar. It kind of looks like.
Yeah, because like
type of
her
thing.
eyes change into his eyes.
And that guy is like controlling something. Like, yeah, it looks very sci-fi. And then there's that thing with a little girl walking up with a deer to that cabin with the snow. So I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's adding a lot of mystery that I want
And
to see.
Spielberg's back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Spielberg.
Who? Who's that guy?
He's an indie director.
Oh yeah, young
I think
fella.
I've seen a couple of his IFC films. You know?
Oh, there you go.
What about you, Scott? Any horror movies you're looking forward to?
Oh my gosh. Oh, actually, Faces of Death. Did you see the
Oh,
trailer
yeah.
for that?
Yeah.
So like, they freaked me out when I was a kid. Actually, like, not in a good way, freaked me out, but like, so I know that like, some of those are real, and some of them have been made
Well, I
up.
remember I used to give my computer aides trying to download those Faces of Death on LimeWire. Like,
The first one is so like,
a lot of them are like, yeah, beheading videos and
It's-
like a lot of stuff in the Middle East, like execution videos and suicides.
yeah, dude falling from like a parachute, like I think in one of them. It's I'm just kind of curious on what they do with it for the feature film.
It's kind of like, I feel like they're adding like a nostalgic thing for like our generation. Well, kind of
yeah,
your
right.
generation.
I'm like Gen
Like
Xer,
our
guys. Yeah,
generation.
And it did
you
look like
guys are millennials, right?
yeah.
You know, because like we saw those videos when we were way too young, and just kind of like desensitized us to like horrible stuff.
Yeah, no, I actually couldn't sit through. I covered my eyes, honestly. It would freak me out because the imagery would not leave. Like I would think about it, like when the lights would go off. Yeah. There are certain things like Stand By Me, the boy that they find in Stand By Me. You know, like that's. I couldn't look at it. My friends would like try to rip my arms and my hands from my face. Like that was.
So it wasn't really that graphic and stuff.
I know, that's what they were all saying too. And I did see it. I saw it like again. I was like, it's not that bad. I don't know.
And that one looks like it could be creepy because they don't show a lot in the trailer, and I feel like when they don't show a lot in the trailer, that's the movies that are typically like the really scary ones because they're saving all the best scenes for you to actually view it.
I was like really excited when I saw Faces of Death, and then they had like that goofy mask guy. This is a goofy white mask.
Yeah.
I'm like, now I don't want to see it. If that's the main antagonist, is some guy in a
It's like a
cheap-
skin suit, right?
I didn't even look up what it's about.
Yeah, it's like a skin suit, and he has like this just a white mask on, and I don't know, that kind of like killer stuff, like killer movies, horror movies.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm not in. I'm a supernatural horror kind of guy.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's not really a feel good like experience. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, and I think that's going to be the end of this podcast. But first off, I want to apologize for the music that's been playing for like the last like 10, 15 minutes. That was not expected, so I'm probably going to have to go in and edit this audio so it's a little bit more clear and so it's not as distracting. But before we end every episode, I like to end in a prayer. If you would like to join us, you're always welcome to join us for a prayer. If not, that's okay. Totally understandable. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening, and thank you for stopping in. And if you would like to pray with us, go ahead and bow your head. Would either of you guys like to pray?
Yeah, I'll pray.
I pray that everyone would be quiet.
Yes.
All right, Austin's going to pray us out.
Father God, we thank you that we get to gather together and talk about our favorite movies. You know, we are so grateful that we get to find glimpses of you in these dark films, that we can pull things spiritually and see these terrible movies in a biblical lens as well. we just thank you for the gift that you gave us of art, of creativity, of filmmaking, Lord. Like, so these are all great things that come from you, Lord. So God, I pray for the rest of our weeks that you are with us, and you will always protect us from any evil that tries to make his way into our lives. We stand firm on you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Again, thank you for listening. We're listening to Richard, Austin Rivera, and Scott Wilkins. Thank you for stopping by, and hope you have a great day. But don't forget, hey, the movie is starting.